It's going down. I'm hoping not to yell timber. And if I do yell timber, it's strictly because the Pitbull and Kesha song is so catchy. Speaking of music, we haven't really discussed much or had the opportunity to engage with music a whole lot during this road trip. Unfortunately, for some reason, the buttons in the aircraft wouldn't work. They were enough to get me down. It is Road Trip to Primetown 2022. If you aren't aware, folks, I am Alex Mandarino, your host. Super excited for the coming days. We're so close. We're going to step into this light in a minute and hopefully get a little closer to Primetown. But I've been jonesing for some music. And even if I don't listen to it, I want to talk about it because it what drives me. And I got a few favorites that I'm just kind of humming on my way. So what I'm actually doing is bringing on Priya Shaw, who is a music therapist, and we're going to have a little bit of a conversation on what she's going to bring to Primetown. Very unique. I'm super looking forward to this session. And I think she's going to shed some light on some of the conversation and some of the interactive pieces that we're really going to enjoy. So I'll pass it off to Priya. I'll do my own humming, and I guess we'll see you in a bit. Alrighty, folks, and we continue trudging through this forest. We are very close to Primetown 2022. And obviously my AirPods died. They're in my ear more so just to kind of see if more visually than anything, but I have no music to listen to. I thought I'd reach out to some of my friends and colleagues coming to Primetown and continue that trend. So I have Priya Shaw with me, who is a music therapist and registered psychotherapist with Homewood Health Center. And Priya, I appreciate you jumping on with me. You have kind of a cool topic that we're going to get into that I think a lot of people are going to be really interested in for Primetown. But before we even get into that, I think a great place to start would be a question I ask all of the people I've chatted with so far. And it is, what are 3 words you would use to describe yourself?
I think I would use silly, caring, and adventurous.
Like
And I'm
that.
very
I like.
inspired by your background because that just makes me want to like go for a walk in the woods.
I'm glad you brought it up and not me, the adventure side of things. So maybe one day, hopefully with the summer coming up. But I love that. That's fantastic. So we're going to get into more the topic of conversation of Primetown, but more so for yourself. I'm always interested in how people kind of find their way to what they do. And for yourself, has music always played an important role in your life, or was it more so something you incorporated into your work on a more recent kind of capacity?
I would say definitely it has always played an important role in my life. If you ask my parents, although they're not going to be part of this, but I started singing when I was like a toddler, and my 2 favorite songs were one, Will You Be There by Michael Jackson from the soundtrack of Free Willy, and then this Bollywood song called Juma Chuma Dede. And I used to just sing those nonstop until I think I might have broken like the record player or something like that. I don't know. But it's always been an important part of my life. I started out as a singer. I sang in choirs growing up. And then later on in life, I kind of started learning the guitar and piano. And then I pursued a Bachelor of Music, and partway through that heard about music therapy. I had never heard about it before, and I thought, you know what, I think that sounds like the right path for me. So I decided to go for a master's in music therapy, and I've been working as a music therapist for the past few years. But I still turn to music as an outlet, as a way to validate how I'm feeling, as a way to express myself. And I love performing as well. I haven't been performing as much, of course, during COVID in the past few years, but I'm hoping to get back into it more and just continue to, yeah, use music as a tool and share it with others.
100%. That's awesome. And yeah, I assumed it was something that was more innate or something that you grew up with that kind of causes more of a passion for music and music therapy. So that's really wicked to hear. And so, like, turning to the event in Primetown in a few days, what can attendees to Primetown expect to learn from your session? And the session's titled "The Music Sounds Like I Feel: Using Music to Express and Process Emotions." Can we learn from this session?
Thanks for asking. Well, primarily, I'm going to talk about what is music therapy because I know it's new for a lot of folks. So I'm going to kind of go through the basics of what it is and how it affects us in so many different areas of our life, including socially, emotionally, cognitively, spiritually. And then, so after providing a little bit of information and going through some, just some of the literature, I'm then going to turn to ways and tools that people can access to start experimenting a little bit, but creating music on their own. And different ways, I'll share different ways that I use in music therapy, but also myself to start creating songs. So sometimes I start with words, sometimes I start with the music. It really depends, and it's totally open. And then I'm going to end with a group songwriting experience, which I'm still kind of fine tuning. I tend to improvise a lot in the moment. So I'm hoping to get inspiration from folks that are attending the session to see what direction we take together as a group. But I'm hoping that will be useful for folks. And then from the resources and stuff that I provide, I'm hopeful that it can kind of ignite like creativity and passion in others, so that if they want to, they have a little, at least a little bit to get started and continue on their own.
Love that. And that's what I'm looking forward to, is kind of that group session that's involved. So, I mean, I'll leave you to it. I'll let it kind of be more of something foreshadowing to look forward to, but that sounds super cool. So obviously topic has been a lot on music in this conversation and will continue to be at Primetown. So more so for a personal question, more so for fun. I mean, I know you mentioned a couple songs earlier, but if you had one, what would be the lead single to like this soundtrack of your life? If you're walking down the street, what song would you pick to play?
Oh, I was thinking about this. I know, and it's a little hard, but I think I would have to tie kind of with two right now, if that's
Yeah,
okay, to
of
show a
course.
bit of duality. So there's this one song called Forward Motion by Daya, and it has some like inspirational music lyrics in there that kind of pick me up when I'm feeling low, or it feels like life's kind of getting me down. It kind of has some inspirational things in there that keep me looking forward. And then another song to kind of show the other side is Vienna by Billy Joel, which is a reminder to slow down. So I
I
tend
love
to
it.
move pretty quickly through life. And so they both kind of balance each other out, as one really helps pick me up and keep me looking forward and keep on, looking towards what gives me hope and joy and energy. And the other one is kind of a reminder that there are times where I can pause and just take in the moment and what's around me. So I find music helps me to do both. So
Yeah.
I wanted to share those two.
Those are great. I'm always looking for songs to add to playlists to kind of get me going. Or, I mean, I think we all need one to either meditate and go to sleep, or just kind of get ready to look around us and be more present and mindful. So I love it. Those are perfect. I'm sure there'll be a lot of good recommendations moving forward. But that said, I'll continue on my journey, Priya. I know you're prepping for this weekend, so I will leave you to it as well. But thank you for joining me. And I'm sure we're all really looking forward to your session in a couple days.
Thanks. I'm super excited. Can't wait to meet everyone.
You got it.